Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to be on COP26 TV. I so wish I was actually in Glasgow. A lot of my friends and activists are there, but I had to attend an event in Germany to block a coal mine. And the film I'm going to show you tonight, actually, it's called Slow Violence, and it's mostly about this coal mine that is in Germany, 2 hours only from where I live here in Brussels. And it's a very long story, very complex, but basically I discovered that coal mine 2.5 years ago through a friend who's a video blogger. And seeing that mine and discovering that place completely changed my mind as an artist, and also in the way I use tech. Technology is part of my practice and something of my part of my daily life. So I'm going to do a very short introduction, and it's going to be from an art and technology perspective that I'm going to explain how I became an activist, and then I will be showing you this 30-minute film. We're getting to the last chapter. As an artist using technology, I use software all the time. And one software that sort of feels very close to my heart is Autodesk. It's a software company. They make really good software for 3D printing, for fab labs and manufacturing. But when I discovered that Autodesk was behind the coal industry, I was really shocked. So I made this website called autodesk.earth. It's a parody website that I made that actually shows the real impact of this particular company. So the coal mine runs on Autodesk software. The baggers, the big machines, are being fixed and manufactured with the use of Autodesk Inventor. So almost by accident, I found this PDF that describes the ongoing partnership with RWE that they've been doing for the past 20 years as a success story. And I was really shocked. So I contacted the CEO and I used my sort of visibility on Twitter. And he answered and he said, like, oh, at least we shouldn't highlight this project as a success story. And he refused to stop working with fossil fuel companies, and basically also deleted this PDF overnight and deleted every evidence of their coal mining activities. When I started to discuss the topic on Autodesk forum, everything was deleted. I was banned from the forum, so you can't even start asking questions about ethics. I was really open in my questions and very sort of open for conversation. And I then realized later that their policies, environmental policies and code of conduct is just complete bullshit. Everything you read here sounds amazing, and when you confront them, it's actually just, it means absolutely nothing. All the points they list in their policies are just complete smokescreen. And then if you do a little bit more research about Autodesk, you realize they also help making oil rigs and offshore oil platforms, but also gas and oil and gas mega project. They work with Exxon. So basically, Autodesk, this single company, is at the very core of the fossil fuel industry. They work also with Petrobras, and I was told by Autodesk employees that they probably work with every single one of the horrible petrol, oil, and gas lobbies. They have a greenwashing foundation, as I call them. It's a foundation they made, which is actually a marketing department. So it has nothing to do with Autodesk sustainability or operation. What they do is they create green stories, and they create pictures of people being really happy in the global south. This is what Autodesk Foundation does. I try to confront them, but they don't want to talk about it anymore. And what they also do is Autodesk manages to make success stories and to be in the top 100 most sustainable companies with Ceres and with Forbes. That's very common. They send PDFs that are not being double checked, and then they win awards, which are based on nothing. They're based on just the data that Autodesk provides. And of course, the classic from the CEO is a message about Earth Day. It's a good day to remind each other that if we take care of the Earth, it will take care of us, of course, says the man who earns $15 million a year for working with fracking, oil, coal, gas companies. So it's all about money. They have no ethics, and they have no really idea of what ethic means. It's mostly about money. So here I did this small clip where I confront the CEO's word with the images of the actual operations.
How is Autodesk making the world a better place? Autodesk, what's amazing about Autodesk, we actually do make the world better. We do actually make it possible for people to build more low-cost housing. We do actually help pollute the world less. We do actually make sustainable buildings that can actually power themselves and maintain their own existence without bleeding down the resources around them. So people come to Autodesk and work at Autodesk because they're really passionate about what our customers do, and we make the world better by making our customers make better, helping our customers make better decisions.
So this is sort of my perspective on Autodesk's impact. It's really unpleasant to do. I have absolutely no pride or pleasure in calling out a CEO. It's really fucked up that I have to do this, to be honest. And I wish I could spend my time doing something else. But they're so willing to lie and not address the problem that I'm not going to let this go. So I went to Autodesk office in Montreal, and I gave out some flyers about Autodesk.earth to talk with the employees. And actually, the employees are also, they feel betrayed. They are being very kind and very positive about my actions. So when I went to the Autodesk headquarters in Montreal, the executive didn't want to talk. So we did a little exhibition outside with the pictures of Autodesk impact. It was really fun. We had a lot of conversations also with employees, and I think the employees are actually being very useful. They are a bit of a whistleblower as well. They've been sending out documents and things to help me and to help us. So if you'd like to help and to join either against Autodesk, or if you want any information about projector for activism or lasers and so on, feel free to join my newsletter. It's really not about me, but it's a way to sort of share information and hopefully pass some knowledge to more Extinction Rebellion groups, so they could also start doing local projections. So this is something I wanted to talk about. Last thing about Autodesk, of course, they want to be at COP26 to show how amazing they are and how great they are, and they're doing really bad job at reducing their emissions, so they're not invited. So what did they do? They sponsored an event called Sustainable Innovation Forum 2021. So they are part of this with a lot of energy company, also with BMW, with like car companies, of course. So they are funding the events as partners, and then they can be in the conversation, part of the discussions. So basically they pay to pretend that they are sustainable. I think this is what Greta Thunberg called out today, because this is just a greenwashing from the big CEOs. So yeah, the last thing about the tech companies, I'm saying this from my technological perspective, and hopefully this will resonate with some of you who also use technologies and gadgets. So the companies, like you heard, they like to say that we make the world a better place. And this is, I think, the sort of bullshit alert when you hear this sentence. Because most of those companies, they continue to pollute using three elements that I call the carbon tech fantasies. It's the carbon offset, the carbon credit, the carbon capture. These sort of imaginary technologies that are not at the scale that we need. Maybe you've heard of Orca, the largest carbon capture plant in the world. It can capture up to, after 50 years of research, 11 tons of CO2 a day. 11 tons. And just to give you a perspective, the coal mine that I was showing in the film emits 270,000 tons of CO2 per day. So basically, you would need 25,000 of those carbon capture places if you wanted to just offset one mine. So this makes absolutely no sense. And I think those carbon tech fantasy are the only thing that allow oil CEOs and tech company CEOs to continue polluting. So this should stop, hopefully. I don't know how we're doing on time. I wanted to close with something a little bit more positive and not just calling out CEOs. So I'm going to talk very briefly about how about we create as artists new imaginaries.